Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the creators of the Juno Awards and the publisher of RPM magazine, Mr. Walt Brelis.
Thank you. Tonight we will honor one of the pioneers of our industry who has possibly done more than anyone else to bring Canada and Canadian artists to the forefront of the world. In an industry known for its kindness and gentleness, but not very often, he has been the perfect gentleman. Leonard has created stars, and he guides the careers of many foremost entertainers with style and panache, and he is beloved among his peers. He has not only been a mentor, but a friend and companion to Anne Murray, Rita McNeil, and George Fox, and the other artists he represented through the years. And his legacy will continue. Canada will be better for what he has done. Leonard Rambeau is a benchmark. This very quiet and very humble Cape Bretoner has dedicated his life to making sure the star system that he helped build continues to sparkle. Leonard, I know you're watching
Leonard
tonight. You've been a very true friend to me and to the industry. See you in church.
Leonard called me in, I think it was 1968, to come and do a benefit for a youth club in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And he offered me, I think it was $125, and the club made $400 or something. And then he called me the next year, and he was working for the St. Mary's Alumni Association. And so I went back and did another performance there, and I was so impressed by his organizational skills. I said to him, if I ever take this business seriously and do this for good, I would love to have you be my manager. He could see that there was nothing being done to help push my career forward in those early days. So what he did was he'd come around and say, well, why don't I just answer some of these letters and kind of help you out a little bit. So he'd come over and we'd go over the letters, and he'd answer the letters, and he would send flyers out to radio stations, and all I did was just pay him for postage in a post office box or something. Leonard and I have never had a contract. The whole relationship has been built on mutual respect and friendship. One of his greatest talents is seeing a picture as a whole and moving the pieces within the scene, and he never forgets anybody. Leonard has a great sense of history, too. I sang at the national anthem at the very first Blue Jays game that was ever played at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. I sang the national anthem at the very first Blue Jays game in the Sky Dome. I sang the national anthem at the very first World Series game played in Toronto. You can't tell me for 1 second that he hasn't planned that for years and years. We stand on guard for thee. Leonard is beloved by the industry. I think that people, he's a good man, he's a man of his word. I think people feel about him the way I do, with respect and trust, and he's one of the good guys, and he's been instrumental in building up the Canadian music industry to where it is today.
Leonard Rambeau's career accomplishments to date fall nothing short of remarkable, and for all of us in the Canadian entertainment industries, we acknowledge with unending gratitude the role he plays in inspiring the development of the Canadian music industry.
If ever an achievement award should be handed out, it should go to a Leonard Rambeau. There's not a person in this country who has ever achieved your success or reached their goals with more dignity, more class, and more professionalism. I can only say, Leonard, it's about time. Congratulations.
Just to have known Leonard Rambeau over the last 24 years would have been a great pleasure. But to have virtually worked side by side with this man over that time is an honor that I will always cherish.
He's funny, decent, a straight shooter, and as I often tell him, Leonard, you've got to quit acting like this, or you'll give managers a good name.
Leonard Rambeau is, quite simply, the most honorable man in show business, and I am honored to be his friend.
We should all be so lucky to have somebody who cares enough about us whether he's a manager or a friend. And you know, I always considered Leonard a much more of a friend than a manager. He is the best, and you know, it's too bad that Leonard didn't get to Elvis before the Colonel did.
Leonard, thank you over the years for being sensitive, passionate, and especially a true friend.
The Lifetime Achievement Award is very appropriate for what Leonard has accomplished in his lifetime, a beautiful wife and kids, an army of friends, and a career that the whole Canadian music industry can be very proud of. Leonard's a model of decency and fairness and creativity. We thank you for sharing your life with us and enriching ours in the process, Leonard. A lot of people love you and care about you. Congratulations.
To say his involvement in my career has been a highlight is an understatement. He's brought calmness, an honesty, and a sense of fairness that reaches far and wide in this business. He is truly a manager that makes you proud to say the word. My life has been deeply enriched by his presence. Leonard, you're one in a million.
Leonard is very much a private person. He's always stepped aside when anybody tries to take a picture of me or me with him. There are very few pictures of me with him. He's always been a man in the background. Leonard's quite a family man. He's a great father and a great husband, and he has a wonderful family, and that's been a very important part of his life. He likes to do things with class and with dignity, and I've always said about Leonard that he's been the only indispensable person in my career. And I really believe that.
To present the Global Achievement Award on behalf of the Academy, the President of CARAS, Lee Silverside.
In honoring Leonard Rambeau, the Academy pays tribute to a man whose contributions are immeasurable. He is a past president and builder of the Canadian Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, and as you have seen tonight, he is a man who has won the respect and admiration of his peers. Leonard, thank you for everything. The Academy, the entire industry, is eternally grateful. Accepting on his behalf, Anne Murray.
Thank you. Leonard could not be here tonight. He's in the hospital, and I'm sure driving the nurse is crazy. I gratefully accept this award on Leonard's behalf, and Leonard, I know you're watching, so from all of us here, thank you.